Thank you for listening to a nighttime adventure bedtime story from nighttimeadventures.com. Visit our website to view hundreds of exciting bedtime stories for children of all ages.
The Nighttime Adventures of Mayla, the Birdhouse. Mayla was an adventurous young dog who loved to explore the world around her. At night, Mayla would often find herself going on adventures when she falls asleep, and tonight was no different. As Mayla drifted off to sleep in her cozy dog bed, she found herself transported to a beautiful garden filled with birds chirping and singing. As she walked around the garden, she met an old man named Scott who was working on building a birdhouse. "Hello, little dog," said Scott with a smile. "I just got done building a bird feeder shaped like a picnic table. Do you want to help me build a birdhouse now?" Mayla wagged her tail excitedly, happy to be of assistance. Together, Scott and Mayla worked on building the birdhouse, using pieces of wood and some tools that Scott had on hand left over from his job as a handyman. As they worked, Scott told Mayla all about the different types of birds that lived in the garden. He showed her pictures of them in his birdwatching book and told her stories about their habits and behaviors. Mayla was fascinated and listened intently, happy to learn more about the birds that she had always loved to watch. Finally, after several hours of hard work, the birdhouse was finished. Scott placed it in a nearby tree and invited Mayla to sit with him and watch the birds. They watched as the birds flew in and out of the birdhouse, chirping and singing as they built their nests. The first birds were a pair of American goldfinches. As they watched, Scott continued to tell Mayla stories about the different birds he often sees in the garden. He told her about the colorful blue jays and the friendly chickadees. Mayla listened intently, feeling grateful for the experience. As the sun started to set, Scott and Mayla said their goodbyes. Scott thanked Mayla for her help with the birdhouse, and Mayla thanked Scott for teaching her all about the birds in the garden. Scott appreciated having someone enjoy the birds as much as he did. As an older man, Scott hoped that the love of birds could be passed on to younger generations. Mayla soon found herself snuggled in her bed. Her eyes cracked open slightly in the garden, the birds, and Scott, were gone. Mayla felt grateful for the experience, and she knew that she had learned something special, and that she would always cherish the memories of her time with Scott and the birds. She closed her eyes to try to fall back asleep, feeling excited for the adventures that lay ahead, knowing that there was still so much of the world to explore.